Are you ready for some first world problems, everyone? Because that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to be complaining about my iPhone collection and beginning to solve it. So, let me explain what exactly is up and why I'm making this video. Alright, so this is my collection of iPhones, excluding my 7 Plus, which I'm currently using to record this video. I have a 2G, a 3G, a 3GS, a 4, a 4S, a 5, a 5C, and 2 6s. I also have an iPod Touch 4th Gen, an iPod Touch 6th Gen, a 1st Gen and 2nd Gen iPad, an iPad Pro 2017, and a second iPhone 5 that's currently in parts. And I love my iPhone collection, but there is an issue with it. I'm going to take a couple of phones away here. My 2G, my 3GS, and then all these others have the same or similar problem, with the slight exception of my 3G, which we'll get to. They don't have enough storage, and this is why. So, my 4 is an 8 gig model. My 4S is a 16 gig model, my 5 is a 16 gig model, my 5C is a 16 gig model, and both my 6s are also a 16 gig model. This is not enough storage on any of these phones. My 3G is also a 16 gig model, which was the maximum they made. However, it's in horrible condition, so I count it as also being a phone, along with all these others that's on the line to be replaced. The only iPhone I have, besides my 3G, which has that other problem, that has the max storage, is my 3GS, which is the 32 gig model. And that's because, with the exception of my 3GS, every single phone here I've been given for free by a relative or a friend. Wait, no. I actually did the 6 on the end, I did buy for 20 bucks, but it was from a friend and it was a good deal. But, with the exception of that one, everyone, was given to me for free. I bought my 2G and 3GS. This is an 8 gig model. They made a 16 gig 3G, but I honestly don't... 16 gig 2G, I mean. But I honestly don't need any more space than 8 gigs on a 2G. But I need to solve this problem because I love old iPhones. So today, we're going to be replacing my 4 and my 5, which I feel are the phones that I want to have more storage in the most, along with my 6, but that's too expensive. So, what's up with these? This is my 4. Okay, the battery may be dead. That's another problem. The battery in this thing's cooked. It's in terrible condition. It has a lot of damage from a screen protector, multiple deep scratches, and even more on the back. The volume slider doesn't flick. Instead, it sort of just awkwardly slides in like a really mushy way. And on top of that, it has a common audio IC issue that causes audio, especially bass, to be super crackly at higher volumes on the internal speakers. It's not a speaker problem, it's an issue on the audio IC on the motherboard. Now my 5 also doesn't have a very good battery, but it had an even worse one before I swapped one over from my Parts 5. It's in pretty good condition. It's the silver model, but it's the 16 gig model, and while it works fine, I want a 64 gig model because I love the 5. It is definitely one of my favorite iPhones. So today we're going to unbox a 32 gig 4 and a 64 gig 5. Both of which should be in good condition, and the 5 is a bit special because it's a slate model. So, let's get started. Alright, so they both arrived on the same day, and the one in this box here should be my 4, and I'm going to open this up first because the 5 is more exciting, in my opinion, than the 4. So I gotta find my scissors. Where are they? I like to take a safe rather than sorry approach on the packaging here when covering up the labels. But now, with my crappy scissors that I still use for some reason, we gotta open up this 4. I got it for like $25 around there. So, pretty good price. They're probably not going to end up getting much cheaper than that before going into collector's prices territory and start to appreciate in value, like all these old things will eventually. So this is probably the right time to go ahead and buy it. It also is in nearly mint condition. It was described as having some light scratches, but from the photos, it looked to be just about perfect, and they showed it on the home screen of iOS 7. Now, I like to do a ritual with every old iPhone that I end up getting my hands on, or new iPhone, and that is to, first of all, open it up, get it out of its packaging, inspect it visually, then power it on, check to see that it's as advertised, and then check the battery health by plugging it into a computer. Then I usually, after that, man, this box is impossible to open. I'm gonna have to do this the brute force method. Then after that, I'll jailbreak it, and then just have fun, because that's really what this is all about. You had to package it like this, dude. Come on, you could have used a little better materials. Anyways, get the box out of the way. We'll have to see what condition the battery's in. I'm gonna end up replacing it soon anyway. Alright, one iPhone 4. And it is as advertised, with some light scratches on the screen. And, yeah, it's pretty good. Checking around the sides. Pretty nice overall. I wouldn't call it near mint, but it's very doable. Let's see that switch. That works as intended, and from the vibration sound, I'm guessing this phone's powered on. And the back is also nice. Has a light mark where there was a screen protector at one point. This is seemingly very common. Screen protectors often do the opposite of protecting the screens if left on too long. But, oh well. It's in way better condition than my other 4. And here we go. We got, of course, iOS 7, as expected. Let's check it out in general. 7.1.2, and there we go. Oh, I just realized you can't see any of this. Gotta get that brightness down. 7.1.2 and 32 gigs. Just as advertised. So, good. This phone's good. We're gonna, of course, check battery health in a minute, but I'm gonna move on to the 5 first. See how bright I can get this before you can't even see it. It's a little better, but I'm gonna adjust my tripod. We're at 44% battery. Just gonna make sure there's no iCloud linked to it. And good, the seller did their job and removed all their accounts. So this, by all accounts, seems like a perfectly good iPhone 4. So, home button works. Passbook app for some reason. Let's look at the camera. Let's see, are there any, like, spots? Nope, camera looks good. Let's check out the front camera. And it also looks good. There's me and the recorder, my 7 Plus. So, good. My other 4 has a big spot in the camera. Is this home button gonna work? These home buttons commonly have problems. If I have to press it a little firmer, then that's fine. Let's see. Light press? Yeah, light presses don't work, so... Oh, come on. This is a funky home button. That is pretty common, though, and as long as it's avoidable, I don't really care, and it was 20 bucks. And I can always swap over the home button from my other 4, I guess. Anyways, so first inspection, everything looks good. Now I'm just gonna, off camera here, crack open the 5. Alright. Cheap third-party charger. I feel like it was an original one in the photos. So, oh well. I can always use more of these, though, so I can't really complain. The lightning cable, on the other hand, looks original. You never know if these are a knockoff or not. But it's in good condition. I feel like this may be a knockoff, though. It doesn't look quite as nice as my first party cable. Let me confirm. The USB thingy's shorter. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this is a knockoff Apple cable. It doesn't feel as nice at all. So I'm probably not going to use this unless I have to, but that was always just an extra. So, I'm not too upset about that at all. I'll have to go back in the listing and see if it was looking like an original one. But, again, that was just a bonus. The main thing here is, of course, our slate gray iPhone 5. Undisputedly the best color on an iPhone. At least my favorite, anyway. It's too bad these don't hold up very well durability-wise, but I'm gonna keep this one nice, that's for sure. I must say, they packaged it a lot better than the first guy. Unlocked GSM, iPhone 5, 64 gig. Fair, 100% functional. Alright, that's not bad. There's some discoloration. Not really any nicks, at least no big ones. The front looks great. So we got some discoloration on the back, which wasn't super apparent in the photos. I feel like they purposefully tried to avoid showing that. But it's still perfectly acceptable. And it's going to power up. Alright. We'll have to see what condition the battery's in. I'm going to plug it in right now with my first party charger. We're going on iPad power here. Lightning port feels very nice and strong. Of course, I have to do more extensive testing things like headphone jacks, speakers, all that stuff. But so far, this is looking good. This one cost me around 50 bucks, by the way. Screen looks great, no noticeable signs of yellowing. Just notice the SIM card tray eject is bent a little bit. Maybe I can bend that back in. United States, you know, I'm just gonna skip setting up this so that this video isn't gonna be too long. Oh yeah, this I believe also has a screen protector installed, although actually I don't think this one does. I think that was another one I was looking at and considering buying. We are in. I'm going to go into settings and just verify that the capacity and all that is correct. Gotta get brightness down a little bit so you can see this better. And there we go, 60.14. I just had to change the name there. It had my name in it by default because I signed into my Apple ID and everything. So this looks good. I will now name it accordingly in my naming scheme for all my phones. iPhone 5, Slate, comma, 64 gigabyte. And there we go. Gonna up the brightness a good amount. Alright, so now to test all the important functions. Camera. Camera looks fine. Wait, front. Front camera also looks fine. Sound I've already verified works. Obviously Wi-Fi works. So now it's time to do things like jailbreaking and checking the battery health. So I'm going to grab my laptop in here so we can check battery health and jailbreak. And the great thing about these two iPhones here is that they both are supported by Cool Booter, meaning that I can dual boot iOS. I'm going to dual boot this guy with iOS 5 and this guy with iOS 6. And I'll actually have the space to do it now, which is good. Also, I'm a very big stickler about this. Enable battery percentage. There we go. We're at 67%. Let's get my laptop in here. 63%. That is really bad. Alright, so we're going to put this high up in the line for battery replacement. And after only 410 cycles, disappointing. We were manufactured 10/28/2012. And let's view the verification report. Battery may be changed. Now what this does is it basically tells us, I check serial numbers to see what parts potentially could have been replaced. So this phone may have had a battery replacement with a battery dated 2013. That doesn't mean that I should be suspicious on the seller's behalf. Most people don't bother checking this, and just because parts are changed doesn't mean that anything's bad, obviously. So I just like knowing. So battery replacement very soon on this guy, which is pretty standard. Now let's jailbreak. All I have to do is hit jailbreak, run, and we're jailbreaking with Helix. Okay, so I just have to interject real quick, just to say, I would actually not recommend using 3U Tools, that's the tool I'm using, to do just about anything with your devices, because recently, as in, I believe yesterday, I saw some rumors on the Legacy Jailbreak subreddit, as well as other sites, that 3U Tools may be collecting device data and sending it off to servers in China, along with, it could potentially be mining cryptocurrency in the background. And, well, if there's any merit to these rumors, well, I don't know. But all I'm saying is use it at your own risk. I'd recommend, if you can, using it on a separate computer. It would be a real shame if that was true, because it's a really useful tool, but that's just the reality of these things sometimes. So just know what you're in for if you do decide to use it. Oh yeah, and I also didn't know at the time of recording this any of those rumors. Again, there may be no truth in it. I don't know, but just thought I'd throw that out there. Anyways, back to the video. Ew, look at these speaker grills. They're disgusting. 89% battery life. That's really good. So this has pretty good battery health. I may not even need to replace this very soon. Let's, of course, view a verification report, and it's not available on this device. So we're never going to know whether this device has had its parts swapped or not. And what's also interesting is its sales region is in Switzerland or Austria, so this iPhone's been all over the world. Not that that really matters. And it was manufactured on January 10th, 2011. Alright, I've got CoolBooter on both devices, although it's an older version on the 4, since on the newest version they've for some reason deleted the option to run iOS 5 as a dual boot OS for seemingly no reason. So we're going to select 5.1.1 on the 4, because I like having the best app compatibility with each version while still keeping the speed, and 6.1.4 on the 5. No custom boot logos, no verbose boot, and yes, jailbreak. I'm actually going to stop this right now. You may say that's a bad idea, but it's only downloading things right now. And the reason I'm going to do that, it's probably going to yell at me when I go back in. Alright, it's not. The reason I want to do that is because I want to custom select the storage size. Alright, because I can select storage here. It's going to default to 3 gigs, but I can give up to even 32, although I'm just going to give it 16. Which will leave me, I believe, with 48 on mine. And then do 6.1.4. Is that still selected? Yes. I'm ready. Then on this guy with 5.1.1, I can give it all the way up to 23, but I'm just going to give it 10. And now I'm ready here. No custom boot logos, no verbose boot, and yes, jailbreak. And now I'm going to leave these two to do what they feel, what they please, and I'm going to plug both of them into the wall. Alright, the 5 is done, my 4 is still working, but let me just show you how this works. I just have to hit boot, lock the device, and then it'll do a finishing installation stage. This is another lovely new addition that didn't happen before with the new CoolBooter update. I don't know what they were thinking when they were making this update. I think it's just one guy making them. I don't know why. I'm sure there's a reason behind it, but now we're going to have to go through jailbreaking with Helix again, or kickstarting it again, before we can actually boot up into iOS 6. I also want to mention, since I cut parts where I'd mentioned other complaints on the new CoolBooter version out of the video because I didn't express myself well, they also, in addition to that extra finishing installation stage, they also deleted iOS 5 completely off the options list on both my 4S and my 4, which the 4S has run iOS 5 with CoolBooter just fine in the past, and all versions of the 4 should be able to run it. Later versions of the 4S can't, ones that were manufactured in like past 2012, I think. But mine wasn't, and they just removed it for all. And then they also removed the option to choose whether you want to jailbreak the secondary OS or not. Like, I know in some cases you had to jailbreak it, like with iOS 8.x or whatever, but why other versions like iOS 6? I just don't get it. Why remove features? Now we're ready. I don't remember if the old update had that finishing installation thing, but I don't remember it. And there we go. And of course, my focus is causing problems, so you can't really see that it's the old logo. Come on. Okay, at certain angles you could sort of see it for a second, but yeah. I don't know why my focus has been acting up so much lately. But trust me, it's iOS 6. Alright. We can now set it up like we're actually running it. Alright. We're now set up. And I must say, it doesn't get much more beautiful than a slate iPhone 5 running iOS 6. So now I actually have enough space to run iOS 6 jailbreak tweaks, iOS 6 apps, and still have plenty of room left over for iOS 10 stuff, which is super nice and fun. And wow, is it fast. And the only limitation is if you reboot, you have to re-jailbreak, and you have to be jailbroken to boot into it each time. Meanwhile, if we go back to the iPhone 4, yeah, we're still waiting. Although we're almost done, it's jailbreaking and stashing, which is the last step. So I'll just demo that, and then this video's over. Alright. Also, I think I figured out why iOS 4 isn't supported. It doesn't have on-device setup, which probably creates a whole myriad of problems. Let's see, is it going to straight up boot into it, or are we going to have to do a finishing installation, since this is the older version? I've also found that you can install iOS 5 on the older version, and then update to the... Okay, it literally... Lock your device to continue. Yes. Alright, so I did go ahead and restore this iPhone because the Cool Booter tool wasn't working. So, time to set it up. Alright, we are activating... Wait, what? Ugh. Why do I always have these things happen? This is what I get for buying a carrier-locked iPhone. This better work. Had to go out and buy a stupid mini SIM off eBay because I didn't have any. Period, but I definitely didn't have any for AT&T. Alright. That's $2 gone. Try again. And there we go. Thank goodness that worked. Well, now I can just skip all this stuff and just get in again. Well, now I can finally use my dumb iPhone 4 with a SIM card this time. Goodness gracious. I hate carriers. Finally back in. That genuinely took like a week. Nearly. It's Friday now. Where I also recorded that bit of me, like, failing to set it up for that cool edit. Yeah, I probably encountered this problem on, like, Sunday. So it's taken a good few days, but we're back in now. and ready to actually set it up now without having to worry about dealing with sim issues if I have to restore. Alright, so that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed, a like would be much appreciated, and if you want to see more, consider subscribing. Of course, as always, no pressure if you don't want to. I totally understand. So, what's coming up next? Well, I want to obviously do more Tweak Showcase, but I've got a problem. I've got like a 5 or 6 video backlog again. So, I really need to get in gear here to edit some more videos. So, I've got more jailbreak tutorials coming up, as well as a video where I replaced the battery in this iPhone 5. Spoiler alert, it was successful. On top of that, I also purchased a first generation iPod Touch and a third generation iPod Touch, which you get to see right now a little preview of as a reward for watching to the end. There we go. And I have unboxing videos and jailbreak tutorials already recorded for both of them, as well as an iPhone 3GS jailbreak tutorial. So that'll all be coming out in the coming weeks. So, that's gonna be it. I'll see everyone next time. Also, I got some new outro music, so tell me what you think in the comments down below. Have a great day, and I'm out.